Hi, Tracy Hugelmeyer here from VintagepreneurUniversity.com, where I help vintage sellers start, grow, and scale their business on Etsy. I also own Rustic Eye, which is my vintage business on Etsy that I've had since 2013, and I love, love, love what I do. And today I'm going to talk to you about blogging ideas for vintage sellers like you. Oftentimes I hear from vintage sellers who maybe you're interested in having a blog, but they just don't know what to write about. And I get it. I struggled with this quite a bit myself. The most important thing to getting started with having a blog is really understanding your niche. And I talk a lot about having a niche. I talk about it in my free 5-day training, which you can check out. I'll link to it below for you. But if you have a niche and you know exactly who your target customer is, who you're selling to, then what content you provide for them starts to become a lot more crystal clear and easier to do. If you're just trying to write a blog and you don't really know who you're writing it for, then it's going to be complicated. It's going to be hard and you're going to struggle. So first off, make sure you understand who you're selling to, who your niche is, what your niche is and who your target customer is. And then from there, you can start to really get to know them and figure out the things that they're going to enjoy and provide your content based on that. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a niche here, make one up as an example and show you what I mean by this. The niche that I'm going to pick for this example is vintage postage stamps, unused vintage postage stamps, okay? All I sell are unused vintage postage stamps. Yes, I've seen a shop that did just this and they are very successful at it. Okay, so my niche is vintage postage stamps and my target customer is brides that want to send out wedding invitations to their their guests to be, and they want to use vintage postage stamps to do that. So my blog content is going to revolve around that. Now, having walked you through that, doesn't it start to already become clear what kind of content you might provide for them? So a couple ideas just off the top of my head is I might write a blog post if I had this niche on 5 ways that you can use vintage postage stamps on your wedding invitations, or you could break it down even further on your fall wedding invitations. Or another blog topic idea might be how to preserve your vintage postage stamps that you used on your wedding invitations, in a keepsake item to be cherished for years to come. But you could also include broader topics that might catch a wider net of people, and that could be something like, the history of postage stamps. So broad topics are fine, but you can see by knowing your niche and your target market, coming up with content to provide them becomes much, much simpler. Hopefully that helps to give you some ideas of what you can do if you decide to start a blog for your vintage business, and topics that you can include in that blog and how you can come up with ideas for your topics. As I mentioned earlier, I have a free training that goes a deep dive into, figuring out what your niche is and who your target market is, your target customer. I will link to that in the notes below for you, but you can also find it by going to VintagepreneurUniversity.com/free training. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell as well so you get notified every time a new video gets published. Thank you very much for joining me today and have a great rest of your day. Bye.